as you open it up, Stocking, you just see like a bunch of feathers and just like hay in
And crinkled
this
paper,
couch.
apparently.
Yeah. Like
I
you
love.
just find a
He
bunch of
looks
like
at
natural
Aelwyn and just
materials.
goes, "Was this someone you knew?"
Oh my
I'm
god!
responsible for that one. I think that might have been capitalism that did that to them.
I'm choked.
Ew,
You,
cold.
you can't tell me none of you would have taken the opportunity to say that. Hello.
Oh,
Hello, we're back again. I know, you missed me. You missed us. Such excite. Such wow.
See.
Um, as you knew, we're back. And we're here to play some D&D. We left off on a good spot, one could say.
yeah.
A strong step in the right direction. So,
Ah.
totally forgot to get in the right chat, but
Would you
that's
say
okay.
no one put a
Let's
toe out of line in this one? The last one?
we'll see.
We ended
We'll
on the
see
right
what you
foot.
do.
Ah.
Recap. Zero.
So,
AKA Lyric. Take it
yeah.
away.
All right. So, last session's notes. We start out with Leon Kennedy in the door. That is actually what I put. We mind freak Alara. Stocking and Sanchi kept their cool. The Kalistar did not. None of them. Alara believes everyone is having a fit of mass hysteria. Calls us out on that multiple times. Silas found out that Stocking doesn't like small talk, although I can't remember if that was actually out of character or not.
No.
That was out of character.
Oh, yeah. Stocking calls Sanchi emotionally unavailable, like he's never heard of self-awareness. Lyric gets up. Lyric gets held up at gunpoint for reasons. Lyric becomes the third person to tell Stocking to step up. The second being Robo, I think Ronald. And
Ronald and Donald.
Alara has also had the conversation with him now, because of Ronald, if I remember right.
Alara said it a couple times.
Yeah, Stocking reveals that he's had a past with RQ and Alara, but he does not elaborate. And Lyric just says, okay. Lyric reveals, actually he said blue balls in the actual session, but Lyric reveals that he's stolen from almost everybody he's ever worked with before in the prison. Worked with before the prison, and to not tell Sanchi. Lyric tells Stocking about RQ being a hater and thinking Team A would kill Alara. And there's a reason Alara trusts Stocking and why RQ thinks Stocking would kill everyone. Like, yeah, sorry, I wrote that really, really weird. Basically, like, Lyric tells RQ, Lyric tells Stocking, I'm having a stroke. Lyric tells Stocking that RQ hates the hell out of him, likes spears, and like thinks that our team is going to kill our dear major, and he just goes, yeah, well, that makes sense. And again, no further explanation. Lyric gives Stocking his best nickname to date, which is Boss Daddy. Hand washing. Sanchi allows the Kalistar to mind link. That was just a hilarious thing that happened at one point. Silas said, "Hey, I'm gonna mind link with Sanchi," and that one guy responded with, "I allow it," which is like the most power move I think I've heard in this entire game. But anyways,
It's not your choice, it's mine.
yeah, Silas, Silas and Sanchi try to make a plan while Silas sorts out PTSD while Sanchi also tries to bring her down to earth. More hand washing. Spears might not be spears. We haven't heard from anyone else from Team B. Tori made a funny about Easter. I wish I could remember what that was. I should have actually put that in the notes. Alara. Oh, Alara breaks ears. Yes, the loud ass scream that the two most curious people decided to listen to, while the other two who it was a weird pairing that didn't get hit by that. The gang all mind freaks Alara for a second time when they break down her plan. And apparently Alara uses guns. That's not important. I just thought that was cool. The bellhop's name. We learned that the bellhop's name is Jimmy, and Eric might actually be getting canceled at some point. Hoot hoot. Traffic laws are optional for Alara, which was hilarious because she kept with Stockine. Everyone was traumatized by the last lady interviewed, apparently, because literally she brought it up, and I think everyone said something about it. Oh no, me and that one guy said something about it, and Silith said, "Hey, that's a private conversation. Back up, guys. Back." We won Alara 500 gold because RQ is a hater. And Stocking speaks. What the f was I on? Just writing Stocking speaks an unexpected truth. Like, what was unexpected? I think he just said something quirky or smart as hell to Alara, like possibly calling out the fact that she's a little too interested in RQ. Or
That sounds about right.
Alara admits that she gets nervous during interviews, wishes she could be more real with the public, and that's why she makes RQ do it, which is hilarious because we know what happened.
Is it maybe that
Major
she...
Ham,
there was something about her being bad at interviews?
Yeah, she was extremely unbelievable during hers.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does a weird face or something. Like, it's not her. It's very not her. Also, Major Ham. That's all I said about that. Traffic crimes. She just. Oh yeah. She tells you about the fact that her name is Major Ham to the public, and then she just commits multiple traffic crimes and like casually is like la-di-da about telling you that she's doing it. Maryland is apparently a canon place in the land of egg. Silent breaks. Oh, Silent breaks in the car. Also looks that was actually good. She breaks in the car and also looks really sad. That is canonical. It was a roll.
For more information, watch yesterday's stream as I explain the break.
Yup.
Lyric is super tense, and Sanchi is chill as can be. Like, at least in the like little chat conversation, she was holding it pretty together. Greaser. We found out that Greaser uses its own newspaper and avoids other media because it doesn't exactly like the rest of the kingdom, I guess. Sanchi plays Nintendogs instead of paying attention to the crowd. I think that's what Tori said. It was a Nintendog.
Yes.
Stocking randomly sizes up the press, and apparently, peasant status. We spotted Dweeb that uses palm oil and looks like an ass. Also, he's an incel. 0 out of 10, but 10 out of 10 instant classic. Major Ham, haha. Yeah, like we just randomly decided to pick on this dude. I think
we did. I remember editing that shit and like Tori decided to go off, and she even said midstream, she's like, I don't know why he's the butt of our joke.
But like, he's an immediate classic. I feel like we're gonna bring him up again at some point. Anyways, the team goes Metal Gear and confuses the f out of some cops. By that I mean we have a mind link and just have a whole discussion standing in front of a forest while the cops look at us and go, "What are they doing?" Sanchi pulls a 900 IQ plan that Silith was 100% not about. Stocking incites a tree. That did happen.
Yeah.
Truly, Haribo speaks through him. We arrived at the scene at 7:45 a.m. That is in bold. And I actually rewatched all of this with the thunderstorm. I don't know why that's in the notes, but Tori said we should. And I was Anyways,
Atmosphere. 'Cause
yeah,
that's what it was like
atmosphere.
outside.
Yeah.
True.
Immersion. Come on now.
Yes, yes. And Team Small Talk finds a camera. Sanchi sees scientists, but does not care to look for the camera this time. Lyric also did not find his camera this time.
I could have
Alara did
sworn
not.
y'all did.
Not this time. I went to the spot, but I never actually grabbed it. Silith uses bad acting to mention the camera. The cameras were from the science building. Sanchi has another amazing idea, which is to raid the science building, and Alara says nay. Sanchi relays that the Grimbles were being truthful. The cops are at the cabin. Alara lives. Silent and Sanchi sit with Alara at the door. Stocking and Lyric look around the cabin. More Mandela checks to the logs were made, and Tori makes a disturbed reference. I don't know why I put that, but oh yeah, it was her first one. That's why it was her very first one, and I put that in. But we find a tiny foot, and that's
Great.
where we're at.
Cool beans. So that sounds about accurate, and I do agree. Have rain sounds in the background makes it mega immersive. So
It did make
with
it
that,
really good.
You should also watch it on YouTube, because I edited something real funny in there about the time. Ha 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 ha. Also, Zero, how have we not made the joke about Jimmy Scoops being in Tori's campaign yet?
Oh, I
well,
don't know, because it's probably going to rant.
Jimmy Scoops!
it's time
Yeah.
to add in a new NPC, I guess.
Jimmy
No.
Scoops!
So you guys find a
tiny foot.
what? A footy. What do you two do? Good old Lyric and Stocking.
Well, while I have the foot, I assume that Stocking is behind me supervising. I out loud say, well, Stocking, I gotta, on one hand, I don't think RQ and I are gonna be having any kind of intimacy. And then he turns around and looks Stocking in the eyes, and mind links. On the other hand, I have a foot.
What?
Yeah, check it out. And he like moves his head so that way Stocking can see.
Give me just a second. I am going to... Is there anything weird about this foot? Like, I'm gonna... Well, I mean, yes, but...
And the rest of it's underground.
Yes, I'm going to... I want to perception to see how long it's been there. Yes, investigate. I don't know. I'm away from my stuff.
Okay.
This is exactly why you were inside in a tree, by the way.
Yeah, because I was away from my computer.
It is a small foot, yes.
You can investigate or medicine check, whichever you'd like.
Yeah, I would like to investigate to see.
Yeah.
Lyric, can I see that real quick?
Well, it's still in the
Yeah,
ground.
sure.
Oh.
You didn't like pull it off. No, like it's just
I
like-
thought it was. He just said there's a foot, and he said he was holding it.
No.
Yeah, like he was
Okay.
holding it up.
We have not determined it's attached to a body.
Pause.
I mean, I am holding it in my hand. I'm
Yeah.
holding the foot in my hand. But
So-
you said you wanted to see the foot?
Yeah,
Are you going to go into any more detail of that?
Stocking is bent down, looking at the foot.
Lyric tries to pull the foot.
And as you do, you realize there is a body attached. And Stocking, as you're looking around at the foot that Lyric is kind of tugging on to like realize, oh, it's attached. You look at the ground around and just kind of like do a natural like look, and you don't see any distinctive footprints or anything disturbed in the nature around you. You just see like this kind of area that's disturbed, which is where the grave is, which you could tell isn't very big. It
Mhm.
almost looks like it would be like not a full-sized human's grave, which tells you it's a small woman or grave at least. You haven't determined if it's a woman. I think we all know who's in there, but You haven't found that out yet. So
A body.
a body at least. The foot doesn't look manly. It looks very well kept and small, and it has no
Does it have a
shoes on it.
pedicure? What
It
nail
does.
polish does it have?
Clear. She's a fancy woman, a civil woman. But yeah, no. So you at least see that as you see Lyric just kind of tug a little with just like one hand because this foot literally could like fit in his hand and like easily, it's not big or anything. So, and you could tell that there is a body attached.
Lyric,
It's a little stuck.
did weren't we supposed to investigate the disappearance of a halfling?
Probably.
We might have found it.
I believe this is a her.
Well,
Also a gnome.
again, Stockings asked Lyric because he does not remember.
Yeah.
He's also over there.
Yeah.
Yes. So.
While still in the mind link with Stocking, I'm still attached to Sanchi. Do you want me to let her know about this and like the other two know?
Probably. It wouldn't hurt.
Sanchi.
Yeah.
So we found a body over on the right side of the cabin. Do you want to,
What do you want me to do about it?
well, what do you mean? Maybe get the other two, or maybe just come yourself. I don't know. And well, bring. Yeah, bring the other two. Whatever. Bring the other two. Don't tell the police. I don't think, because I think we're suspicious of them right now.
Are the police even here?
They're inside, aren't they?
Are the police inside?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well. I won't tell them anything.
All right. We're gonna.
They found a body. That guy's found a body.
Laura just kind of like stands up as you guys have just been like sitting on the little stairs to this place, and she's like, "Let's go then." And she walks on over.
I will follow.
And she kind of walks up, standing behind Lyric as you are both still crouched down, I imagine.
Yes.
And she just kind of looks over. She goes, "Is there a reason why you don't have gloves on?"
Were we given gloves?
Yes. In your pack.
That one is on me.
And as you see her, like, snap her gloves on, and she, like, shoos Lyric away.
It just gets out of the way and, like, just basically tries to look around.
And as she's, like, looking at the foot and such, and she kind of looks up at you all, and then she just kind of looks, like, plain-faced, like she doesn't really look phased at all, and she goes, "And you all thought I was the one dying today." And then she
still
might.
About.
And she goes, "Spears, can you reach back out to the hotel and let them know we need someone from Team 11 here? I don't want her body in the hands of the local police, seeing she's a government worker in some regard. Also, get Leo if he... actually, never mind. Let him be." And then she stands up and takes off her gloves, and she's like... looks over at Stockeen. She's like, "Go inside and investigate the home as planned. I'll watch out here until Team 11 arrives."
Silith, do you want to continue to stay with the Major?
Yep.
No, all of you are going.
I don't think that's wise, ma'am. We kind of determined we should all at least have someone else there.
She has like this annoyed look on her face, and she goes, "Enough of the nonsense you all have been saying all morning. Clearly, I can handle myself. do you all genuinely not trust my own skills over a possible dream you had? Regardless if you do or don't trust me at this point, I gave you an order. Go in the house and investigate.
And Stacking just goes, you know what? F- it. Wow, the ice cream truck is real loud today. Stacking says that.
The tension was so thick.
But yeah, he just kind of looks at Alara and goes, fine, if that's how you want to do it. And then he just walks away.
And she looks over at the rest of you. Go.
I go in the house.
I'll stand at the front door, and I'm going to set the tablet to record and specifically look that way. Like,
Sounds
lean
good.
it up on the foot, like, thing. Like, here's the proof that it wasn't us.
Mm-hmm. All right, and you all walk inside.
And I would like to stay at the door. Like, I'm not actually going to go inside. I'm going to be at the front door, like, just in the doorway.
Mm-hmm. She's not here. You all are over here now. We'll just move all your little toki bips. And as you walk in, so Sanchi and Stakin, you walk in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, all of these officers do not have their guns pointed. It was the only model I could find. Like doing typical police work, but
I mean, true.
like,
Yeah, it does.
don't, like, so I just wanted to warn you all now. Do not think they are just blasting.
They came in blasting.
They came in a blasting. And as
Might
you
be
walk
a good
in,
thing you said that.
as you
Honestly, yeah, good caveat.
you walk in, Stocking, and immediately you see. Well, actually, no. You can roll a perception if you want, or anyone that wants to walk in. I guess walk in. Technically, you all are inside, so get your asses in there. But yeah. If everyone could roll a perception for me.
Where did my icon go?
It went under Lyric.
Oh,
Thing at the door.
You could still be. I thought you went in the doorway.
Wait,
like you
wait,
still stepped
you just-
inside.
okay.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still looking out the door. I would
Yeah.
like to incite the police more so than investigate.
Okay.
Oopsie.
Alrighty. So we'll start at the top with Stakin and Sanchi. Both of you notice immediately walking in. Lyric, you're just kind of like perplexed by like Silas still standing behind you and like not coming in, and you're just kind of like looking around because you're still maybe a little in shock because Lara's never given that tone, and you've never seen Stakin curse. At least in that regard.
He's more so like, now she's alone. Now she's alone. She's gonna die.
But Stakin and Sanchi, you both notice the place is in like a disarray. You see the police everywhere. You see several bookshelves and just kind of like papers and desks and just like books all over the place. You just see like chaos and like little plants and like little vials everywhere. And it's just typical hoarder, weird herbalist, hippy dippy girl. And immediately as you walk up, an officer walks up to you and he's not blasting his gun. But
It's not blasting.
I hate that. I was like, this is gonna be so funny. It's so terrible. But
He's
like, here
blasting.
we are. Like, I tried so hard to find any other token I liked, and I didn't like them. So I was like, well, we're just gonna stick with the goof of all of them doing this, and it's just gonna be really dumb. But anyhow, he walks up to you and he like steps forward. He goes, I'm Officer 1245 Bernard Torg. I know you're instructed not to speak with us or anything, but the major told us that if she did not enter with you all, then I'm to inform you, Officer Marcus, of our findings so far. And he like pauses as he like pulls out his notepad. And Stocking, you are significantly taller than this man. Like, he's at like your bottom peck Like,
It's the hair.
it's like you are significantly taller than him. And he like kind of like looks up
My-
briefly and then looks back down and he
My
goes,
6'4" self.
yeah. So he's looking up at you. He goes, we haven't found anything of note yet. She had a lot of books on herbs that were local and not local, but nothing that would suggest she was making poison or anything. There was no sign of forced entry in the cabin so far. Based on the dust that we found on some of the papers, it seems like her house was usually in this disarray, but we plan to confirm that evidence with Miss Valna. He like flips the page as he like kind of stops and like looks up. In her office that's over there, as he kind of like points behind him to the what would be his right. She has a computer, but we were instructed someone from your team, Officer Marcus, would be the one doing any additional research on anything we found or of note. If we, if you feel the need to look further, that is. And he kind of like looks back up at you and he's just like genuinely has a scared kind of look. Like you don't even need an insight to know that he's just like genuinely intimidated by you for some bizarro reason. Overall, there was no food in the house. We looked in the fridge to determine to see if anyone had been living or hiding out here, since it's remote and near all of where the bodies were found, but none of our scout teams saw anyone come in and out of the woods besides like officer changing shifts or the search groups. But it is a lot of land, and we're human, we try our best. I think that's all, sir. As the major instructed on your arrival, we are to leave the inside of the hut at least. Would you like me to gather the rest of my men in here and escort them out so your team can do the search? Or if you have questions for me, I can answer them, but I'm aware you're instructed like outside of this communication to not engage further. So please give the order and we'll step outside. And he like kind of looks back up at you as he puts his little notepad away.
Can I have the notepad?
Uh do you need it?
I feel like, at the very least, that would be helpful. The
Uh,
other thing would be helpful is how thoroughly did you search the vicinity?
well, the vicinity we did not. We were instructed to only go straight to the hut and investigate the hut. We've been here since 4 a.m., sir.
And you feel like you've gotten a very thorough search?
So
Stockine is
far.
still like very upset.
He could tell.
Very visibly
He was-
upset.
You could tell. No, the bedroom was clean. We did any normal searches for fingerprints and such, and we haven't found anything of note, but we're gonna get that back to our labs to make sure it all still aligns with the owner of the hut.
Okay. We
But
just want to get a
overall-
good look at the team before you all leave, if that is okay with you. Are we still out of character? Are we still connected through the mind link? Any mind link?
No, I wouldn't be at the moment right now until we never did roll psychic dice, so I don't know exactly when Sanchi and Lyric's mind link is going to end, but like, a maximum of 6 hours, minimum of like whenever Tori wants.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's been 3 hours already. So,
Mm-hmm.
I'd say you're still connected. You haven't said you disconnected it yet, so.
yeah.
Okie dokie. And I guess Stakeen voices to Silas through the mind link. We should probably get a good look at each one of these guys
Oh,
just to make sure we memorize their faces, just in case.
I'll say I don't think there's a mind link with you currently. I had
I
been
thought there-
debating
no,
starting
yeah,
one to be like,
I thought
make
it
sure
was-
to ask.
It was Lyric.
We got too
Yeah.
far away. We got
Yeah, you guys went
Oh.
out. Yeah. So right now, Sanchi and I are the only ones that are currently mind linked.
Okay,
Well, no,
never
you were
mind then.
just doing that with Lyric or with Stakeen with the body.
I was doing like my racial mind link, and I was doing the
Oh.
feet thing with Sanchi, Stalking, and Silith for the
Oh,
distance.
okay. Okay,
Slightly
sorry. I
different.
misunderstood. Continue.
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah. I guess when the officer walks away to gather his guys or whatever, then he physically turns to Silith and whispers it.
I would say you might already notice, like, with the insight, she is already doing that. Like, already studying their faces and trying to determine if any of them look sus.
I'm gonna go with probably not. He's low key real salty. I'm surprised. I'm surprised
I'll
I
give a
nat
little
20'd
nod then.
anything.
Yep. So they all to then go to Silas. They all just look like they're doing their job. None of them look suspicious in the slightest or acting funny or moving funny at all. They're just all kind of like gathered around and like looking up at like their good old Bernard. And I'm just like, Bernard, can we go now? We've been here for like 3 hours. Can we go? Are we good? And he's like, no, he wanted to look at us. We have to obey them. They want to look.
3 hours? I thought you said you've been here since 4 a.m. Have you left this hut unattended for any amount of time?
And Bernard looks over. He's like, we were over at Stocking. We were only
Which one is
instructed to
Bernard?
speak
I'm
to.
assuming Stocking is over by him now.
Yeah, this will be Bernard.
Okay.
We'll give him a
He'll just be
nameplate. I
right
don't know
here.
if he'll actually show up, but for y'all, Bernard Porg. Tell me if that showed up for you guys.
Nope.
do
No,
not
I think
see
it's. I think there's a setting on the token that has to be adjusted for it.
Well, there's no like I have a nameplate for it, but I don't know if you guys just have to refresh to see it because I have the nameplate already selected to show his name. But
I'm refreshing to see because I'm curious.
yeah,
Might
because I
be a show-
can't.
Might be a show two players option somewhere.
No, he's a token, so I can't. Oh, here we'll do that maybe.
I
Is
don't
that
see his name now.
well? Player permissions. See, let's try that one now. Can you see
Yep.
his name?
Yep.
Okay, there we go. It's
See.
hidden now. So there's Bernard.
Bernard.
I guess we'll give them all names so that you, if you guys need to remember who's who. Officer
Oh, no.
1, 2, 4, 3. We'll just give them all little names. Save. But anyhow, as you walk up Stocking, you see him and he goes, we were only instructed to talk to you, sir. Are we allowed
Only-
to speak to her?
Yes.
Or Officer Marcus, sorry. He said Stocking on accident.
And it's okay. We'll just
He
pretend.
knows. Get him.
Ah!
No,
Lyric tackle!
kill him!
Lyric use tackle!
Lyric, lyric.
Sanchi,
yeah,
I choose
So
you.
anyhow. But anyways.
Yeah, you can go ahead and answer her.
No, I'm sorry. Isn't it 7 a.m.? 7:30? And he like looks at his clock. We got
If
here
you
at
want
4.
to get technical, it's more closer to 8 o'clock, sir.
Oh,
Closer to
I'm
10.
sorry. Oh, you're right.
Yeah, we
sorry.
arrived at the.
Then yes,
Oh,
we've been here
whoops.
for 6 hours.
Hmm
I'm
Time
pretty sure
flies when you're having fun.
we left at 7:30.
No, we are just working. We've been busy looking through the books and such. And they all do have gloves on and everything. So like they're not like, just smudging their little hand printies everywhere. They're like all decked out to make sure they have like little booties on their shoes and everything.
I'm pretty
Do I
sure
see
it's
dust
bad
on the
police work
bookshelves?
to wear gloves.
Mm-hmm. There is dust on the bookshelves.
So like none of the books have actually been moved. Dust, no dust on the bookshelves.
like they've been moved, but you could see spots where like there is gaps in it. There's still dust, but the books have been moved recently as they've been going
Mhm.
through them. But
Stakeen
yes,
turns to Silas and Sanchi, who are still in the doorway. Um, do you have
This
any
is
more
our
questions for
instrument.
them, or would you prefer they leave?
Did they
Anything?
find anything?
Nothing really of note. They gave us some interesting information on what they found, but they were also instructed that we were to investigate the computer in their office.
Are there any signs of combustibles? And kind
no,
of looks over to the fireplace and then back at them.
no, ma'am.
No combustibles. Okay. Anything like that on any of you?
No.
Hmm.
Besides our weapon, but I
Yes,
don't think
outside of
that would
that.
count. No, sir.
All right. Anything else the two of you have? And he shouts at Lyric. He's just like, Lyric! Or not,
Or
Kieran, whatever. Kieran, do you
Her
have
name
any
is
questions for any of these
You
suits?
gotta stop mixing us up, man. It's getting pretty racist.
What?
Her name is
Oh, she's
Lyra,
right.
by the way,
No, she's
not Lyric. Lyra,
good
and
cover.
I'm not Lyra.
He
He's
just kind of rolls his eyes as he's getting more visibly upset. He just walks away. He's like, whatever.
sir, are we good to go?
Kieran, do you have anything you'd like to ask these gentlemen, or are they okay to leave?
What route did they take here?
We walked.
Straight
Up.
through or?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Lyric. I don't know what to do an investigation for this. Lyric sniffs them to see if any of them were smoking or doing anything they shouldn't be doing on a
He just walks up
like.
and gives him a big ol' sniff.
Go for it, homie.
Oh, I have a -3 investigation, so this will be fun.
I
Which
think that'd
one
be
are
more
you walking up to?
perception.
And the
Uh,
-3
the
charisma.
one, yeah, the one that he's literally right, Officer 1222. So he's just gonna walk up.
He
You
smells
stink.
good.
Oh.
Oh.
No.
He has just cologne on, but if it's stinky to you, it's stinky. So
It smells like you smell like chemicals. You guys, haven't been doing anything like smoking around here, have you?
Smoking.
Bernard answers, "No, sir." Well, I'm sorry. Officer Marcus, do we have permission to speak to him?
Yes, anyone, and he kind of turns and he's just like, ugh, are we gonna do this every time? Any of my teammates that have a question, please answer them. This will go much quicker and you can get out of here sooner if you just cooperate.
Yes, sir. No, none of us have smoked, sir.
What's your phone battery at?
I don't know. I can check.
Yeah, I just want to see how much you guys have been playing on your phones instead of working.
Mine's at 70%, sir.
Oh, that's actually pretty good for 6 hours. Never mind. When he just walks away and doesn't say anything else.
Officer Marcus, are we good to leave now?
Yes, you're good to leave.
And he
Make
like
sure
nods
you give
to
your
the men.
regards to the major on your way out.
Yes, sir. And as they all kind of walk out as a group.
Just
kinda
just
stay.
information.
I'm gonna step out and watch them walk away.
And they actually don't walk away. They just kind of stay on the outside. And you see Bernard he's like, all right, sirs, we now must continue our search into the garden on the side as we were instructed by Major. And they're like, yes, sir. And they all just kind of start walking over to the garden.
I love that quick motion they got.
I do another perception check if I can still see and or hear Alara.
You really can't see her. There's like trees. There's like a lot of trees still around. But yeah, you could do a perception. So far you don't hear anything. You just hear kind of the rain outside.
You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna pretend to go investigate this window just in case.
All right.
And then do another perception check.
Go for it. And as you stand at the window and you start just touching it with your little hands, you kind of glance over to look, and you immediately see Alara just staring at you, and with the most unamusing face, and you just hear her in your head go, "Get inside, Silith. I'm fine."
I say, does the perception show me anything on the windows?
No, the window is perfectly fine.
Oh yeah,
will
don't
go
mind me.
I'm just dusting.
Just cleaning off this here window.
As it is raining actively.
Yeah. Man, look how dirty this thing is.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe
I think-
checking to see if it was, messed with to open it
Tampered.
on the outside or.
Yep. Nope. There's no way to really open it. You notice it's just like a pane of glass slapped in this hut. It doesn't even open. But yeah. Nope. All right. Lyric, you're in the bedroom. Who would have thought? So, what are you doing in there? What you looking at?
First things first, Lyric's going to look under the bed. No. First things first, as he walks to the bed, he's going to put on gloves.
Mm-hmm. Good. Good.
And then he leans down, basically gets to the ground so he can look completely under the bed to see if there's anything there, anything out of place.
Can you roll a constitution check for me?
Wow, that's a lovely question.
Please roll a constitution check for me.
No, I know. I'm just like, oh great, that means I found something bad.
You sneeze.
Oh.
Of all the dust.
Oh, and I'm wearing my mask. Oh.
You sneezels. And as you're
God.
looking under, you can do a perception check or investigation, whichever you
Hold on.
prefer.
If he's wearing a mask, shouldn't he have advantage against the Constitution?
You can do it. Go for it, homie.
I'll just roll a second one.
Yep.
Nope,
Nope, you're screwed. Must be very loose.
Oh my
I tried
god.
for you.
You did. I appreciate. Okay, perception. That's good. Not performance. Every time.
And as you look under the bed, you find just more papers shoved under there. And as you pull them out and kind of look, it's just, well, you can't read them. They're in common. So you're screwed. And they're just kind of there. And they're papers. So yeah.
Hey, Sanchi, can you come into the bedroom? I found a bunch of papers under the bed. I have no idea if they're important.
What is it? Take stuck in.
Okay. Marcus!
What now?
Not Lyra needs you over here.
Stakeen stays put.
Oh, Marcus! I found things that need to be read in common, Marcus.
I'll go over to Stocking. Can I borrow your tablet so I can take photos of whatever you found?
Yeah. It'll shut him
She'll
up.
grab it. And then I'll go over there. and go check out the photo, or I'll be like, okay, now put them on the ground and let me take a photo so we know where they were found.
He does.
Takes a photo and then looks at the papers.
It's just more like old orders that look like they're the same. You see Valna's name on there a little bit, and it's just usual, like, ooh, she got herbs for her allergies and stuff. So it's just like old receipts, nothing of like real note.
I'm
'Cause
still
it's
gonna
all
take
like,
a photo of them so we have a
yeah,
list of clients she had just in
yeah,
case.
yeah.
That's important.
True. But
I'd like to
Mm.
investigate
Yeah.
the chimney when you have a chance.
I'd like to go check this window.
go for it. We're gonna jump on over to Sanchi real quick. All right, Sanchi, checking out the chimney.
Yeah, I've heard there's chimney up here.
True. Go ahead and takes a
Investigate.
peek-see. So as you look in the chimney, there's no fire, so you don't have to worry about being caught ablaze. So it's not lit. And you look
No
up and it
combustible.
looks very
Not
dirty
lit,
in there.
fam.
Nice and sooty and just covered in kind of, soot.
I have dark
But
vision,
nothing's
so
shoved up.
can I see anything that looks like it's hard to see?
Nope, it's nice and clear in there.
Great. All the way up?
Are you climbing in?
Yes, if I have to.
Sounds like a
I
very
didn't know if you were
Sanchi
going.
thing.
If,
I don't know if
If
you were
I-
just
if
going
you're
full
breaking
Santa
my
Claus. Like
I am
you
very
were-
small. I should be able to fit
Yeah.
comfortably.
You would. I just want to like confirm that you are pulling the badge and being Santa Claus.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay. All right, great. So you climb into the chimney and you pretty much can see that it's like closed on top. So you don't see the light at the end of it, but from what you can tell as you like climb up in there and kind of flutter a bit, you there's nothing in there. And when you come out, you are actually do a constitution check for me. You're not that dirty, surprisingly. Somehow you managed to avoid a lot of the dirt.
Of
Thank you.
You're
course.
still like a
Very-
little dirty, but
I'm
not
very
like
clean owl.
disgusting. Yeah.
The bursting owl.
You just have like a few scuff marks of soot and whatnot.
Yeah, I shake it off.
Alrighty. Stakeen, do you have anything to say as you watch your team member climb up a chimney?
No. At this point, he just thinks that's normal for Sanchi.
Fair. What is Stakeen doing currently?
Stakeen is looking through the couch. Like, in the cushions, underneath the couch.
That's Sim's
All
hot
right.
dog moment. You're a little hungry, I get it.
True. Roll that investigation as you investigate the couch.
No, not hot dog money. We need that money for a sody.
Sody.
So,
What was it?
Maybe
Investigate?
intimidate.
yeah.
No, intimidate.
Yeah, intimidate that couch.
Hell
You
yeah.
you tell it what's up. You beat them cushions.
Actually, I'm very curious. Good.
Well,
Don't
you're doing
excite
it very
JD Vance.
gracefully.
Good, I got the terrible roll out of the way.
Yep. So you are tearing this couch apart so neatly, and probably like taking photos on your. Well, no, you don't have your tablet, so you're not taking photos. But
No.
ultimately, you are looking in the couch, and you find like the usual like dust and lint, and you
Any
do find like a
quarters?
small like coin. Yeah,
Yay.
you find like 2 quarters. You find 50 cents.
Yes.
And ultimately, you don't see anything really of note in there. So it's empty.
Fair enough. Can I... Well, At this point, Stakeen kind of turns to Sanchi and just goes, how much
Isn't she
trouble
outside?
do you think I would get in if I tore the couch apart?
Well, it sounds like it would be within your rights as the head investigator. I wouldn't get you in trouble. In fact, I think that I would expect you to tear the couch apart in the name of good detective work.
Fair enough. Stakeen is then going to go over which room is the kitchen? This one?
Yeah.
Okay. Stakeen then goes into the kitchen and goes to find a knife.
Oh no, I'm sorry. That's the office. I thought you
Oh.
had clicked
Say-
over here.
Oh,
I
sorry,
think
yeah.
that's like the cooking spot. It looks like there's
Yeah.
a pot.
That's what
Yeah.
it looked like, but I didn't want to assume.
I'm
You
so
said there
sorry.
was an office with computer, so I'm assuming not bedroom is office.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So you go into the kitchen and grab a knife.
Yep. As I'm grabbing the knife, I'm just make sure there's nothing nothing suspect in the drawer.
Right.
Candy money.
I do have gloves
Nope.
on.
Good.
I,
Nope. There's nothing of suspect in the drawer.
I do think it's still folk law to use the crime scene to solve. That's to
The crime.
like to use any part of the crime scene to, modify other parts of the crime scene.
He says that as a former forensics major.
No, I think I was a criminal.
Stakeen just looks at Sanchi and stabs the couch and makes a big rip in it.
Yes,
And
that's very nice. Good rip. Good arm work.
The pain.
So,
The pain.
so out of character, really quick, did we ask them if they took pictures of the area, the whole place yet?
No, we did not.
No.
Which is why
Oh.
Sal's like, put it back, let me take a photo.
I thought they did the documenting.
I asked for the
Meticulous.
notebook.
Oh, yeah, but
We didn't ask about photos or anything
Correct.
like that.
no.
Do I hear the whole like couch ripping scenario?
I don't know. Do a perception check. Sakin didn't do it secretly, but I don't know how loud
We're
I want
asking
this
about the
couch.
knife.
Yeah, yeah. So you hear the couch rip. Like it's a pretty loud rip, as it's natural fibers, of course, and it rips pretty loud. And as you open it up, Stocking, you just see like a bunch of feathers, and just like hay in
And
this
crinkled paper,
couch.
apparently.
Yeah, like
I
you
was-
just find a
He
bunch
looks
of like
at
natural
Aelwyn and just
materials.
goes, "Was this someone you knew?"
Oh my god!
I'm responsible for that one. I think that might have been capitalism that did that to them.
I'm choked.
Ew. Cold.
You can't tell me none of you would have taken the opportunity to say that with Sachi around the couch.
Oh,
Holy shit.
damn.
Oh, man.
Well. So, Silas, you heard that. At least the rip. I don't know if you heard the comment that was made, but you at
I mean,
least
with a
heard
20
the rip.
probably.
Yeah.
So with that, I'll audibly sigh and be like, Lyric, sorry, Kieran, can I have your tablet? I know you don't exactly use it.
And he reaches into his bag and just hands it to her.
And then she'll photograph this room, and then go out here and photograph this room, and then have Stockings back. Probably should take photos before destroying stuff.
If that's what
I
you
love
want.
the idea of you getting a picture
And
of
then
Stockade
Stockade
holding it
walks
if the
away.
cushions open.
Who's in
Does he
charge of
take back his
investigation here?
tablet?
Did you give it to him or
Yes.
offer it back?
Yes.
Then yes.
Okay.
All right. Silas, Sanchi, what you... Well, actually, no. We'll go back around. Round table. Lyric, what you doing?
Lyric is going to continue investigating the bed by carefully moving the blanket back. And then after he checks under the blanket, he's going to check it under the pillow and inside the pillowcase.
Okay.
If there is a pillow there.
There's a pillow.
I will go back into the room after handing the tablet. That way, in case Lyric needs me to read anything.
Yep, go for it.
Investigation on this one.
Yep. So you pull the blanket back and you just kind of look at it, and I'll say you smell it, and you're like, nothing nefarious happened here. And as you kind of look into the pillow and you like reach into the pillowcase, you find like an old, just gold chain in her pillowcase.
I'm
No
really good at
pendant or
finding
anything.
this.
Just a gold chain.
Think we should take this as evidence of anything, or leave it?
Takes photo.
By the way, he's holding it like kind of like from an angle, so he kind of looks dainty, and he's just kind of dangling it in front of his face, like.
Evidence, not pocket.
I'm not gonna pocket it. I feel like I'd get caught anyways. But where do I put this now that we've taken the picture?
Do we have like evidence bags that are little
Yeah.
like field kit?
Yeah,
Then I'll
camera in.
Yeah. I'm like, I'll just like pull out one of the bags like from the bag and just be like, and point to it, like not even say anything.
He takes it, opens it, puts the chain in, and then. So. Would it be if I, as a former thief, be considered bagging it if I put it in my bag right now, or should we just give this to Marcus?
Put it in the bag with the other bags and where your camera was. I'm sure they will take it back and categorize everything.
Gesundheit.
Then I'll walk over here and meticulously take a photo of the bookshelf, pull out every book, take a photo of the cover, open it for look for hidden things, and put it back.
You know what? Have at it. So you do that. Do you want to roll an investigation?
Sure.
Go for it. You are
Anything
blessed by
interesting?
finding nothing.
Any interesting titles though? Like anything about a cult or anything like that?
Nope, it's all herbalism books.
Okay,
Like,
but yeah,
full
literally
blown.
just checking if there's any secret pouches and putting it back,
Yep.
or any cutouts and doing
Do
that.
they seem legitimate?
Yeah,
Or
they're
do
all
they
I
seem
would
legit
like
books.
I'll say
quack?
I'm assuming if I open a page, there'd be some sort of plant description and put it back.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, they all seem like some of them are official, some are like her own journals that she wrote, but all of
Yeah,
them are
but
just herbal.
But are any of them like hemlock used to cure like sleeping sickness?
Oh yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't
that's
know
pretty much
that.
what all of the books are.
Oh,
Is
they're all
like,
like that.
like they're all are just like natural remedies and like normal like
No, but
biology or I guess
no, but
biology
hemlock is the poison, right?
poison. Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but yeah,
So it
no,
doesn't cure.
I
it
wouldn't know
does
that.
not.
We're clear with what I mean.
Yeah,
I'm sure
no,
there's
but she
like
does have like books that talk about like the quote unquote good things of hemlock, but
great for herbicides.
great. Yeah, but she has pretty much all of the standard and then some herbalism books and herbologies and natural remedies and natural medicine and all that mess. Like she's just literally her own freaking library
Vitamin
on
C,
it.
a great cure for the common cold.
Truly. All right, Stocky and Sanchi, what you doing next?
Is there a roof on this place?
Yes.
I'd like to check the floor.
Okay.
Is there a roof? I'd like to check.
Yes.
Yeah, what's under these
Oh,
rugs?
that got me.
Yeah.
I want to like tap around the floor, see if there's any like loose floorboards under which something might be stashed. And then,
Yeah.
is there a basement also?
No, there's no basement.
Investigate.
Yep, so you tip tappy around like any very cute little owl trying to walk. And as you're tip tapping, you notice just like all of the floors are kind of like homemade and a little rugged. So they all have like a little squeak and a little squawk to them, but nothing's like added like noticeably loose. And under the rugs, you notice there is a lot of like scuff marks. And you kind of look and they all lean back to the couch as if she's like been moving the couch a lot.
Hmm. I would like to let Lyric and Stakin, Lyric by the mind link and Stakin by vocally, know that this this floor seems like it's gotten a lot of use.
What makes you
Okay.
say that? Just 'cause it's dirty?
No, it's scuffed up as though she's been pushing her couch back and forth.
I mean, what she does in her own free time with whoever she wants is her business.
No, I
So
mean that literally. Not as a
yeah,
euphemism.
You know, I
that's
heard
not a euphemism,
ex-
whatever that is.
exactly as Kieran stated. I heard in the jail that people would quote unquote move furniture a lot.
No, that's
It
the
was
euphemism.
Wade and Connor mostly.
See, you do understand euphemisms, Kieran.
No, I just meant that they were the ones that shook the furniture in the prison. Also, me
Yeah,
and you
no,
can't talk. My bad.
Mean you can't talk, oops.
we're not talking after the whole lyric incident.
No, whatever. Stakeen shuts the door to the office. I'm tired of this bullshit.
All right. Sakin is done. So with that, can you all roll perception checks for me?
Oh no!
No.
There's a scream outside.
There's a quake. There's a reckoning.
All right.
Of course.
Ruckus.
Funny enough, the
Of
only
course.
person that's genuinely interested, Silent.
Yep,
the only
The
one
person
that
on high alert.
You're the only one that coincidentally notices while you're doing your remedial book read. You hear like a ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, which is then a helicopter coming in, and then you just kind of hear like loud helicopter wind, and slowly everyone else, you all will slowly start to hear it, but like immediately, like right out the first gate, you hear the little propellers moving, and you hear like it's loud, obviously. So you hear like Ilara like kind of shouting outside, and she's like, "Howdy, here, come on, lower yourself down. You won't get killed by the tree, promise." And the three little dudes like jump on down off their little rope, as you can like at least assume or see it. Who knows? Maybe if you walked out there, you can move your token to go and like look and see if you're like on that high of alert. Where as soon as you hear a noise, you go running silent. like,
No, if I can hear her, and I like, especially since she's talking to it, I'm like, there
Yeah.
are more eyes, so I don't care anymore.
cool. So
Like,
yeah,
as long as it's our people, like, there might be a visible like sigh of relief as she
Mhm.
continues to look through every singular book.
Yep. So you all just kind of hear that starting outside. Stakeen, what you doing in the office?
I'm going to. I'm assuming the computer is over here.
Yep.
I'm
So you
going
walk
to
up.
go and do exactly what was told.
Yeah. So you walk up and you see just a kind of like real terminal looking computer. As you walk up, you see that it's like you see like text written on it, kind of like loading in green, and it says begin. And what I'm going to give you is one of my favorite and first mini games of the campaign.
Oh no!
Yep. Let me know once you solve it, and then I'll give you the next screen.
Well, I guess
Okay.
it's a good thing that I'm streaming.
Yep.
Let's see.
So
Is it
you get to look at that.
Is this in the out of session chat?
Nope, I gave it to you directly, but I can put it in out of session chat
damn,
as
okay.
well. But I gave it to you personally because we'll let everyone else get it once they try to, dare I say, crack the code. So,
Oh, okay, cool. So they can see it.
yeah. I'm so happy. But, oh, this looks crazy on stream. Rough. But yeah,
Oh,
let me know once you solve it. And, you know, go through all that.
The
Anyways. Mm-hmm.
I'll look over. I called
Those
it.
who know,
I
know.
called it.
Those who know, know. So have fun with that, Sakin. And yep. You see that on the screen when you walk up to it.
Hmm.
Oh.
Interesting.
Oh.
Rick, do you remember anything from class that would help Wiggling Cock?
No.
So I meant our week
Uh,
of school. I think one of us had a hacking class.
No, I did.
yeah.
Well, good luck, Sakin. Continuing on. We'll just let that ensue itself because Sakin hasn't called out yet. And if you do fail, you can refresh the page and then it'll start fresh again. So, because I've noticed once you run out of attempts, it does not reload for some bizarro reason. At least it didn't for me.
Fair enough.
So I just refreshed the page and it was fine. But anyways, have fun.
This is just Wordle.
No,
New and
much
improved.
better. Much better. Much better than Wordle. Much better. It was the perfect opportunity to whip it out, so I did. But, alrighty, next up on the chain, Lyric. What you
Lyric
doing?
is checking behind this corner bookshelf to see if there's anything hiding behind it.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Not medicine. Don't know why that almost happened. Oh, so I can't move it.
That's so rough. So, like, you go to look behind and immediately just, like, bonk your head right on the corner of it, and you just, like, you hit, like, almost the funny bone of your face, like, right in that temple area. That's what I call the
Oh.
temple area, the funny bone of the face, because it hurts.
Kinda.
It's the worst.
Yeah, it is not fun.
And from there,
Do I notice
you,
that with the passive 15 perception?
oh yeah, you notice him just fully deck himself in the face with a bookshelf. And kind of step back and almost like waddle backwards a bit and like wobble. And he like shakes it off.
Does the first aid kit we were given have a cold compress in it?
Yeah, it does.
I will get that out, activate it, and give it to him, and then go back to looking at the bookshelf.
All right. Rough. Sanchi, what you doing?
I'll check out this desk. It's very awkwardly in the middle of the room. Very intrusive.
Yes.
I assume it's in black and white because it's been removed, or is it still here?
No. It's still there.
Yeah, I'd like to see if there's anything conspicuous about it besides its position.
Yeah. So you look at it and you can tell immediately by reading the documents that are like, there's a lot of documents and books like piled up around this desk. And you could tell this is where she does most of her like orders and stuff. Like this is her working desk. And so it's kind of like her front counter, except it is just like a wooden table with like drawers underneath it. And you like look in and it just has like all her like little like shipping bags, and it's just like linen bags with like ties on it and whatnot. And so it's just like her little workstation. And she you don't find anything of note. You find some more like older receipts, but the only name that's like specifically on there is Valna. Everything else is like order 4-6 whatever plant due by this day. And then it has like a check mark next to it, and this is like paid on it and everything. So it's just like her own weird little bookkeeping.
What's
that she
the
has.
most recent like order taken date?
So the last one you can see is for Valna, which is her prenatals.
And when were these?
Let me double check the date, because I know it does confirm with what Valna said
okay,
her
so
last time. Yeah, so it does confirm with
so
her.
that was the last time that she was, the last day she was alive, basically, the 22nd.
Yeah. Correcto.
Hmm. And are there books on the bookshelves back here?
There are. There's like the two outer ones have the like books on it, and then the other ones is just like a bunch of her supplies, which is just dried herbs and such.
Do the herbs look like they're ready to be used, or do they look like they need more processing?
They look like they're ready to be used. They're all dried, and some of them are like crushed up and in vials already, and so it's just kind of like her back stock, you could assume.
Since someone we know a lot about herbs.
Lyric knew about some on the outside.
Well, I'm going to try and intuit the uses of some of these.
Mm-hmm.
Medicine or survival?
Whichever. I think both are fair.
Well, neither one's better than the other, so.
Yep. So you look at them, and you could tell they're not poisonous, at least, because you know what poison looks like for sure. And ultimately, you can see that they are just like herbs. They're just like medicine. You would almost equate them to spices, almost. Like it's just any sort of usual herbs that are out there.
Do they look like they're meant to be eaten or rubbed onto your skin, or like, can I try one?
Yeah, you can eat it and it tastes herby.
I'd like to smoke another.
Smoke? I thought you ate.
Yeah, the first one.
Okay. So you go to like light it up and roll a constitution check for me.
What lighter?
Don't ask.
I imagine. Yeah, you like your throat immediately starts burning.
Well, I am a bird. Probably shouldn't be smoking.
Right? And so you immediately just burn your whole throat as you like start coughing and the usual cough. Hack, hack, cough, cough.
Okay,
And
well,
then you immediately put it out.
This is worthless. Why does everyone in the guild do this?
Does Silence hear that?
Can everyone roll a perception check for me? Perfect. Perfect roll, Stockine.
Hey, look,
Everyone
I'm focusing.
else. Yep, Stockine's just in the office doing his work. And everyone else, you immediately smell whatever the Sanchi just lit up. You smell it. And then
Do
it
I
like
know
quickly goes away.
Do I know the smell?
You recognize it as like rosemary immediately.
Somebody cooking?
Yep. You just tried to huff rosemary, my guy.
Damn, Silence would prefer that than the normal cigarette.
Lyric walks over and actually checks, like,
very funny.
who's cooking?
Do you tend to burn your cooking all the time?
He looks over at her. Do you still have the herb in your hands?
Just behind my back. It's very, very hidden. I don't think you're gonna see it.
What do you mean burning my food all the time?
You just
What?
recognize the smell of burning plant? You
I
assume it
recognize the
smells
smell
like
of. Recognize the smell of rosemary.
burned rosemary.
Okay, fair. You know what? Not every dish is cooked perfectly, but what? Wait, hold on. Why were you burning rosemary?
I wasn't burning rosemary. I didn't even smell burning rosemary. I think you're having a stroke. You know, it's not good to smell smells that aren't really there.
I smelled it.
Sorry, I meant Kieran. Silent,
Yeah,
don't
seriously, you
encourage
two need
him.
to get better about that.
Yeah, you're one to speak.
I solved the
That is
puzzle.
very true.
You did?
Yes.
Ooh!
That was
So
actually really
as
fun.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And as you solve it, Stalkeen, you see this on the computer screen.
Oh.
Actually, don't.
Oh,
So you can now get off
Wait.
the website.
Okay.
And yeah. And that's what you see.
I take a picture of it.
Mm-hmm. That is fair. And I will give you, so that way, as much as I'd love for you to have to write this out because it'd be really funny, here, you can have the text version of it
Okay.
and do with it what you will. Um, have at
you
it.
just eat it.
Just
But anyhow, yep. So that's what you see once you unlock it. Continuing, you three, because Stalking hasn't said a single word. He's just in his own la la land.
They're gonna walk over to the red couch, um, looking down to see what Sanji was talking about. Does he see the marks? Like, are they really that like?
Yeah, they're noticeable, and
Oh,
you
this looks like it got pulled around a lot. What do you? Why didn't you just say that?
and you notice the scuffs are genuinely just like forward backwards. So like it's all still within the vicinity, but it's just been like moved closer and then moved back. So it's not like dragged around everywhere. But
Lyric's gonna pull the couch as far back as he can away from the where the scuff marks end.
can you roll a nice cute little strength check?
No.
You need my help.
uh, probably. I
Okay.
don't know,
So you
maybe.
pull it back kind of easily and you feel the back kind of loose so you don't just rip the back off, but yeah, no, you have a nice gentle touch with moving furniture. Who would have thought?
That's Marcus's handiwork.
Well, is there anything underneath the where the couch was? Any kind of like noticeable lines on the floor?
Nope. There's nothing. There's just like usual scuffness on it. There's like a bunch of dust underneath.
What about under the table? Someone else could probably go.
With him moving stuff, can I real quick? I want to look up and take a photo of the ceiling, and then I'll go take a photo of the scuff marks and take a photo of the ceiling in here as well.
Can we insight
Okay.
anything from the scuff marks as well? Like, is it just being moved a lot because she's trying to access something that's beneath it?
Nope, it just looks like she's moved the couch front and back. There's no like weird board or anything under there.
Lyric looks under the
Totally, is this
tables.
supposed to look like this?
Yes.
Okay.
Continue.
What's that to her or to the tables?
I'm sorry, what did you ask?
Lyric looks under the tables.
There's nothing under there. No writing this time. You feel your heart
Oh,
whole.
thank God! Oh my God!
You
It
have to
took me a
heal from
second. I'm
such
like,
trauma.
oh, we don't have the chrysalis here to solve it.
No.
What the hell were these scuff marks here for?
Closer and further away from the fireplace to get warm, and if you get too warm,
There.
you as someone who tends to rough it at night should know these things.
I don't normally have a fireplace. I normally have to have a fire.
And do you not back up when it's too hot? As she
I
says
didn't
it,
know
I
you
would like
said
to
that.
look under the carpet or whatever the hell rugs these are.
Yeah, and you just see the scuff marks Sanchi was talking about.
I didn't move the
Lyric
whole
would put.
couch. I just moved myself.
I've got a pretty good judge of how I'll keep myself from a fire at this point. So long as I build the fire right, anyways. There's good wood.
And
Although
sometimes you throw
tolerance would be.
dry leaves on and it goes up in a poof and it gets too hot and you have to cover your face and
Have you done that before?
you're not the only one who's slept outside. And she'll investigate this couch.
Mm-hmm. Go for it. And it's about the same as what Stockeen had found. There's nothing of note in it. There is 2 quarters. So.
I'm gonna flip one and let it land on the floor. Is it heads or is it tails or should I roll?
Roll. I'll say 1 is heads.
It's weighted coin.
Tails.
Bad luck. And puts it in my pocket.
All right. Lyra, or actually no, where'd Sanchi go? Sanchi's in the kitchen?
I'm in
Yeah.
the kitchen with Dinah.
Sanchi, what you doing in the kitchen?
I'm looking in the cook pot in the fire pit.
Yeah. Roll that
Um,
check.
Is there any sign that there was more than
No. It all looks empty and clean. The pot's clean at least. The wood portion of the stove is very dirty and sooty.
Well, maybe I could also look through her cupboards. I'm sure there are cupboards somewhere around here.
Yeah, there is. I just didn't put them in here. I was lazy.
Gotcha. Show me the cupboards. Never mind.
Canned food. Nothing of note.
For someone who is so health conscious, she sure seems to have a lot of high sodium canned food in here.
Probably cans it and preserved it herself. There are ways to do that.
I realize that, but it's still
I mean,
preserved.
that
It might just be
Yeah.
last resort food. Oh, wait,
Not-
never mind.
Not to mention, plants don't normally grow in winter. You have to have something.
Yeah, fair enough.
Does it look like she preserved it herself?
Yeah.
I don't recognize any of these brands.
Was this mason jar brand? But
Hey, you said canned, not bottled.
oh, sorry. Correct. Was this aluminum can brand? I think they're called Shiners, was what those cans were or something. That didn't have any labels on it, and you buy it for like 20 cents and you don't know what your dinner is. So, yeah. Fun fact. But
I haven't
anyhow,
seen Marcus in a while.
speaking of, Lyric, you walk in and opening the door, and you see good old Stockeen at the computer, looking like a good old little office worker.
Or he's 95.
What? Did you find something?
What? Oh, just kind of figuring out some code on the computer, I guess. Basically, it's giving me a binary number, but the binary number itself isn't translating to anything of substance in the common language.
What language is it using? And also, what the hell is binary?
Out of character. Didn't Lyric take a hacking class as well? Or was that Sanchi?
Nope.
Nope.
Was Stakeem the only one?
You and Wade.
It's over.
I know. it's like you could use the comms.
Nope.
If you want
Upload
them.
a photo and tell them.
I suppose.
No, the comms are compromised. Don't use them.
The
Or
comms.
are you all in the room at this point?
No.
No, I
Okay.
wanted to take a peek outside with the helicopter.
So that
Yeah.
I'm assuming
Okay.
Stakeen is doing one of those things where he's not sitting in the chair, but he's like hovering over the chair and like kind of hunched over it,
Mm-hmm.
but almost like a complete 90-degree angle over it. And he kind of turns to Lyric. He's kind of, his focused face just kind of softens a little bit. He's like, Lyric, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. It's another language. Basically, it's like the computers are. Shut up, that one guy! You and your shrimping. No, he's not shrimping. He's literally. He's not. Shut up. So he turns to Lyric and just goes, "It's basically like the computers are talking to each other in order to do things."
So like, is that like how Warforges talk it like Silent and I can do, but like only with machines?
Stakeen just kind of pauses for a second and goes, Warforges don't necessarily communicate like that, but okay. And you hear like a little. There's something in his voice, but it is almost sad, but
I'm gonna insight that.
Mm. Ooh, you know something is up, Lyric. You know there is something for sure up.
Unless you'd
You
like to
want to
deceive
talk
Stucky.
about it?
talk about what?
That random tone you just took when you mentioned that's not how Warforges are? I mean, look, we don't want to say anything. I just want to
What are
say
you
that's the
talking
first time I
about?
think I'm just saying, like, that's the first time I've heard you use an emotion other than annoyed or standard meh.
Oh, guess I didn't realize I changed my tone. Anyway, it's like talking. It's a computer talking back and forth, and right now, I'm having a little bit of a struggle.
Hmm. Is there anyone that you can call to help?
Huh. I guess there would be Wade. He did take a couple of those classes with me. What do you think? Do we
Mm,
risk it? I know Lyra was a little anxious about using the comms this time.
you should probably ask one of them for something like that.
No. Okay. And then that's my answer. And then he gets on the comms.
All right, what you saying?
He asks for Wade specifically. Or,
And Wade
he
just
asks Spears if Wade is on.
and you just hear Wade respond, "Yes. What you need, Stockine?"
Why are you
What?
talking like that?
Out
It's
of
just
character, is this just us realizing we've never actually asked for them?
Possibly, but at the same time, you figured the best person would answer, and Spears is like the head who would then delegate.
True.
and Wade chimes in. He's like, "Oh, I did it to everyone. Sorry, guys." And you just hear it like kind of cut out, except for everyone with Stockine. He's like, "What do you need, Stockine?
Ugh.
Having trouble with that code you're looking at?"
Oh, that's definitely him.
Hmm. Ugh. I hate asking for help, and you know that. But
Aww.
are you okay?
Yeah. A little sore, but the usual.
Uh-huh. I see Connor's been treating you well.
Yeah, we got a little bit of a break while you guys were like, well, no, I won't talk about it. Last
Uh-huh,
night we got
I'm
a little
sure
bit of a
you
break.
did.
It was nice. Spears has been like beating us
I
essentially, so you
don't
know.
believe that in the slightest, but wait till I tell Kieran.
Oh, mm-hmm. So,
Anyway, this code, clearly you've seen it.
yeah, I did some research on it since I have a computer in front of me.
And
Oh, it's base 64.
what?
Base 64.
What about base 64?
The type of code it is.
I see.
Is that all you needed, Stockine?
I guess for now, how d- oh. Hmm. I guess why would it Ugh. Never mind. Yes, that's all I need.
Bye then. And you just hear it kind of cut out.
Ugh.
But as you get all that, Silith, as you like kind of step outside, you see Alara
Oh, I
just kind
didn't
of
plan
walking
on
up.
stepping outside. I just wanted to
Okay.
look out the door and like see how close the helicopter was.
Yep. So like you hear it like kind of the noise fizzling off, and at this point you see Alara kind of walk in the door. Can you do a dex check to make sure you don't get hit by that door? Good. You gracefully step back as she opens the door. And she's kind of looks back as she goes, "Where's Officer Marcus?"
In the room over there,
Beautiful.
office.
And she just goes walking on in and sees you at the computer, sees Lyric doing whatever Lyric's doing over here.
Looking through whatever these little things are.
She's kind of like looks over and she looks back. She goes, "What'd your team find so far?"
Oh, are you talking to me?
Yes, Marcus.
Hmm. I suppose if we are doing exactly what you would like, madam.
It's major. Close.
Mm-hmm. And he just goes, we discovered quite the interesting code on her computer. Not exactly sure what it means, but we go here. And then he shows the binary. And then he goes, but when translated into base 64, the code reads out, I'm sorry I betrayed you.
Hmm.
Any thoughts?
Apology accepted. But outside of that, no.
What apology?
Well, you said you're sorry you betrayed me. I assumed it was how you were speaking to me earlier.
It's not me apologizing.
Hmm. It's a little opposite of what I'm sorry says. But regardless, no. Interesting, though. We could take the computer.
Might as well.
Cool.
It'd be best to
Is
give
there
it a
anything
thorough
else?
search. I'm sure Wade would love that.
Oh, yeah. He really liked his hacking class, I guess.
Not surprising.
True. Well, anything else? of
Well,
note?
I mean, outside of, the body outside. Uh, I wouldn't know. You'd have to talk to the rest of my team. Major.
Thank you, Officer Marcus. Kieran, what'd you find?
Nothing in this room yet. We found some suspicious marks underneath the couch, but I don't think we found anything leading to it. And I found some papers underneath the bed and a necklace in the pillowcase. That's about it. Lyra will have more information on what the papers I found were.
And she just walks out. Did you guys find anything?
A ledger of previous customers. I took photos of that. Nothing of interest in the books.
I also found some recent receipts on her front desk, and also, I guess the couch stuff isn't important.
Receipts.
Mm-hmm. Did the receipts confirm anything that Valna said?
Confirmed the date of the last time that she was seen alive. No new orders placed since the 22nd.
Good work. Alrighty then. Well, with that information.
Maybe of interest that Elma's name was the only one explicitly written in the receipts.
Interesting. Alright then. Well, let's head out. We have somewhere next to go.
Where?
Gentlemen, you coming?
Mm-hmm. Come on,
We're going to
Kieran.
the science building.
Raiding the science building.
And you all leave. You all can be back together again. Oopsie. Sorry, Stuckeen. I totally forgot to move you back here
How dare.
for a very long time. But anyways.
What'd you find in the
My
office,
bad.
Stuckeen?
Are you gonna tell us?
The way you went from the really high pitched voice to the really deep voice.
Tell us.
Yeah. Stacking tells you.
Great. Okay.
All
Thank you.
right. Bless. Thank goodness.
Really
And you all
high-pitched.
get
Are you gonna
in
tell us?
the vehicle.
Why is there a vehicle all the way out here? When
Well, no, you
probably
guys
we're
walked
gonna walk?
back. You guys
Oh.
walked back to the car.
I'm like, but
Because that robot is a good driver. That robot is the best driver. Do not.
Do not judge him.
Oh, and
Yeah.
I
So you
pick up
all
my.
walk back.
I will pick up my tablet on the way out. That was precariously
Oh.
positioned and recording.
Oh, no.
On the way.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say on the way back, can they pick out flowers?
Yeah.
All right. He gets a small bouquet, and then like just before we all go into the vehicle, he gives. He picks out a few flowers from the bouquet. This is probably gonna end bad. He goes up to hold on, I actually have this written down because I had to look up a couple of them. Damn it. Okay, so he takes a lilium, a yellow flower, and puts it into Sanchi's hair feathers. He walks over to
Hey,
Stocking with a lily, and he puts it in the dead center of Stocking's hair. And then
Mm-hmm. Go on.
he walks over. He walks over to I cannot remember the name of this, and I did not write it down, unfortunately. But he walks over to Syeth and puts a blue flower in her hair, and then he walks over to Lara and puts a red petaled rose in her hair, and then he takes the rest of the flowers and gets in the car.
And she like immediately almost pulls it out of her hair and just holds it as she gets in the vehicle.
I think she's allergic.
Hope not.
Oh yeah, Silith will grab a single dandelion and turn it into a ring and put it on her ring finger.
Cute. Anyone else want to do anything with flowers?
No,
All right.
before the major gets in the car, maybe
Stocking's
while
gonna take
Lyric,
it out of his hair, though.
maybe while Lyric is picking flowers, Sancho
Yeah.
wants to ask the major.
So, with all the hacking going on, the computer system for the dwarves and the Nisa's computer here, any worries that the little driver guy's gonna get hacked?
No, he has a pretty good software. He should be fine.
Should. Depends on how
Yeah.
good the people we're working with are.
True.
You know, there's always a back way in.
There is, but
Maybe
no.
just be ready to take the wheel, I guess.
Oh yeah. No, we're not letting little guy drive, but
I
no.
feel like you always let the little guy drive.
I usually do, but not today. But no, he and she like kind of looks around, though you guys are literally in the middle of the woods. Ultimately, if anyone tries to hack into the vehicles, they self-destruct. So,
The vehicle?
at least the little guy.
No.
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna help us too much if he's driving and suddenly self-destructs.
Well, hope no one hacks into him.
Yeah, I mean, I apparently have to.
Yeah. It'll be fine. I'm a good driver. What are you talking about, Sanchi? Never
I
been into an
mean, like,
accident in my life.
okay, but you have to respond within, like, less than a second. You have to recognize that the guy just self-destructs, and then you have to respond in a half a second before we crash into the car in front of us.
Well, Sanchi, are you not that good to react that quickly?
I am, but I'm not the one driving.
Well,
If you could hear that
thank
one
goodness
guy
I
in the
can't too.
next room over, oh my god.
Well, lucky for you, I'm just as fast.
All I'm saying is that automatic driving is terrifying if your autopilot self-destructs or gets hacked.
That's why I'm not letting him drive this time.
This time,
Well, you know, he did his due diligence earlier.
I can't believe what I'm hearing.
And then they get in the car.
And everyone gets in. And as the drive goes on, it's pretty silent up front. Until, of course, Ilara can't keep her mouth shut.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, "So who do you think the I and the you is in that statement?"
Hmm. Well, if I had to guess, the obvious answer would be the victim would be apologizing. As to who they are apologizing to, it seems unclear, but at the same time, it also seems like it could very well be a red herring. So I
Hmm.
guess I'm not quite sure.
I just find it odd that a woman who had a wood stove had a computer.
Do you? I mean, didn't she work at the science lab?
No, not Nisa.
She hated the science lab.
I
True.
was gonna say,
What
did
if
the
it was a
house have
gift?
electricity? Like, were there normal lights, or were they all like torch lights? Out of
Just
It had
curiosity.
lights.
Okay. And I'm assuming normal running water too.
Yeah.
Okay. Not completely middle of nowhere. Got it.
No, not full country bumpkin.
Okay.
But I just find it odd. She had a fridge and a computer. And then normal lights, which honestly, based on how the bulbs look, haven't been used in a while.
Well,
Which tells me she probably used just the natural light from the windows.
yeah, you can try to be as earth friendly, sustainable as you can. But in the end, if the world has technology and is a technological based society, you're going to need some form of technology if you want to keep up.
What'd
That
she need it
and
for?
some people might have given it to her as a gift. It might be Velna.
True.
Is that private conversation or can we hear it?
No, you guys can hear it.
What, this whole time?
It could be for taking orders as well.
I didn't get
Who
to look in
knows?
the office. I would think she would have, but then wouldn't you think it'd be on her front desk?
I mean, not if she doesn't like it. There's something about, I don't know, radio waves. Maybe she thought it would poison her food or something.
But I didn't think she'd be using it at all. In any case, I feel like there's only 3 people that could be the subjects of the sentence. There's Nessa, there's Valna, and then there's the hot boyfriend in the woods.
True.
Or any other person who had orders, or
There were no names as far as I saw. It seems like they weren't close enough to betray.
It might also be
Interesting.
someone we don't know.
They might have been closer. I mean, Velna was didn't didn't Nessa receive orders from one of the ladies that died? If I remember right, that Velna lady was a delivery girl of sorts.
Hmm.
I
They could
mean,
have met multiple times, talked.
I remember they had beef between Nissa and the other family,
Hmm.
the Hapork family.
Mm-hmm. Well, interesting indeed.
Indeed.
Well, I was just curious.
You
You
mean
know.
you wanted a theory of your own? Hint, hint, go watch last night's stream.
Mm-hmm. And Elar just kind of smiles, and she then finally touches a little tablet in the front, so it is then muted audio wise to the back, and she goes, "You know, you didn't have to be so snarky."
In what regard?
That regard. But no. I understand your guys' worry and fear, but at the end of the day, I was very well aware of the police officers in the building. Doesn't look good when your boss tells you to do something and then you immediately, in short, defy it. So I apologize for being as stern as I had to be.
I
Or
suppose that's fair. But it seemed just a little, I guess, untrustworthy. Well, no. Untrusting of you to not have
mm-hmm.
us talk to the people who had already done the investigation. Seemed like it would only help to talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
And if the team has questions, they can articulate their own thoughts better than I could. Might as well cut out
Mm-hmm.
the middleman. Wouldn't you say that's for clearer communication?
It could be. But I also didn't want them influencing you guys that much.
I don't
We've already
think.
seen how sloppy their work was.
I don't think they would have influenced us in the slightest. I mean, Sylith
It's a risk I
usually
didn't want to
goes
take
on
with it.
her own hunches. Sanchi does what she wants. Lyric just kind of does stuff. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and what if
Are we
I
able to
listen
hear
to
this
you?
still?
No.
We've
Okay.
been muted. We've been cut off.
Lyric,
Well,
Lyric
it's
just kind
good
of
that
randomly
you're.
feels bummed.
Well, it's probably good that you're at least learning how your team functions.
Hmm.
And you guys pull up to the science building after a nice long drive of probably like an hour and a half. And you all get inside the science building. And, well, actually, no, retcon. As soon as you guys pull up, she turns to Stakeen and she goes, "Since you know your team so well, I'm going to tell you this now. I'm going to be very strict walking into this building. Okay?
Whatever you say.
Good." And you all get out and you walk up to the science building. You walk on in because pretty much like you go through the normal like security and whatnot. And Ilara handles it all. Then you guys walk inside. And on the inside, you get to see all this. Da, 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 just
Woo.
craziness happening. And ultimately, we immediately walk up to the receptionist. And you see the lady behind the glass or whatnot, behind the little desk and her little screen. And she like looks up and you can just tell she like gulps in like almost fear. And she goes, "May I help you, Major?" And she goes, "I need access to Xenia Flickerfoot's office immediately, along with all of her computer documents unlocked." Oh, I'm so. That was not a request. It was an order. Take me and my team there immediately. She's dead. It's no longer a missing persons case. I'm also going to need boxes for her belongings. And she just looks like stunned. And she's like, "Right this way." And she stands up and grabs a few boxes from like a storeroom on the way as you all walk into her office. And at this point, you walk into her office and you see a woman standing in there. And let me pull up her photo for you guys. I don't need Kermit. Where are these people? There they are. Okay. I was like, I do not need Kermit.
No, creamy.
And all
He's already
players.
dead.
Bleepity blop, bleepity bloop. And you see a small little halfling standing behind a computer desk. And you see the scene in front of you. And she stands up and she's dressed like she's about to go on a hike. And she's like, "Can I help you?" And Ilara goes, "Yes." So she just shows her badge. She goes, "Are you Marie Littlebolt?" She's like, "Yeah." "Who are you?" She's like, "I'm with Base 2. Major Ham. Your coworker Xenia Flickerfoot was found in a shallow grave this morning in the woods next to the building." And you see Marie just like distraught, crying, sobbing, not like overly dramatic, but just, the usual, oh,
I'm
shame.
hearing an insight check.
Yeah, go for it.
How good's her acting?
She's not acting. She's genuinely distraught and like crying. And you notice
Okay,
that
good to
Ilara
know.
does not stop talking as she just starts like bursting into tears or wherever she goes. "My team's going to interrogate you here and now over on that sofa while I look through your documents and do a search of this office." And she just stands there, just not even comforting the woman. And she looks back at Stakeen and she goes, "Take her over there to the side and start asking questions." And Ilara puts on a pair of gloves and sets down a box and starts going through this woman's desk as she like, poor little Marie, little Bolt is just like grabs a box of tissues and sits down on the couch that has like a table and two chairs across from it. And she's just like crying into the tissues as you walk her over there, Stalking. And she
Mhm.
sits and she's like, "Oh my god, she's gone. I'm so sorry. I don't know how much I'll be able to answer. I'm just in shock. Can she not be so rough with her things? Xenia liked her desk a particular way. Can you get her to stop?"
No.
Yes, I can tell her to at least go lighter. Will she listen to me? Probably not. Um,
I'm sorry, were you asking me?
I wasn't asking anything. It seems like you were close with her. Wait, are the others by me?
I would
I'm
hope
assuming
so.
we're all there, yeah.
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 I would fucking
Lyric,
hope so.
or Kieran, can you please go uh tell the major to take it easy with her things? It's upsetting her friend.
Yes, sir. And he just walks over to
Thank you.
Alara.
Mm-hmm. What do you say, Lyric?
Lyric walks over to her and sorry, ma'am. Um, I understand you're doing in the most diligent work that you can at the moment, but she's being a lot, and she kind of needs you to
She's being
not
a
stop,
lot.
but not be rough with the things.
And she just pulls you down to her, just fully yanks your coat down to her, and she gets like right next to her ear, and she's like, "You are the last person that's going to give me orders. Go do your job, Officer Kieran." And she lets go and like shoves you back a little bit and continues doing her look through the desk.
Lyric just turns around and walks over to Stocking, doesn't say anything, and just kind of just shrugs.
I see that went well.
What do you, oh my god, she's dead? Like, was she, like, what happened?
Were you
Oh,
guys more than coworkers?
No, she was just my best friend. She, like, we worked together.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
They're best friends and roommates who just shared a bed, you know.
yeah.
History didn't erase anything at all.
That's
Yep,
Nope.
right.
completely normal.
They just grabbed coffee on the weekends, naked.
Silent will
But
sit
like,
down next to her and like put a hand on her shoulder. Can you tell us about her? We would like to know more about her.
I, she was great. She was fantastic. Nothing was wrong. I she was doing good work.
What kind of work was she doing? What is she working on?
We were working on making it a new
Oh my,
energy source. I'm so sorry. Um, we were
do I
doing.
get advantage since she's lying so poorly?
Uh, you can roll again because she's just crying, but no, she's not lying from what you can tell. We were
Sure.
working on. Oh, I'm sorry. She like wipes her eyes more. She goes, "We were just doing discovery and in the final stages of these mushrooms that can carry and even generate electricity to run the town since we can't do solar here because of the weather."
Are these mushrooms locally grown?
Uh, yes and no. We derived them from the mushrooms that did grow in the forest, and then we did do some research on them, some, modifications genetically, and then they're growing well, steadily, and they were originally only letting off a small, tiny electric pulse. And then they showed more promising signs, so we started developing them more.
When you say the forest, do you mean the one directly next to the science lab? Definitely
Yes.
implying Nessa's.
Well, yes, like in that we have some on our like we have forest in our land, so we found it there, and that's why the building was originally placed here because of the ecological environment around.
I heard there was some issues with, I believe her name was Nessa that owned the forest next by. Was there any bad blood between Xena and her? Xenia?
Uh, I mean, yes, I guess, but I don't want to speak ill of my friend. She was, trying her best to do her job, and we know we need the land to build an additional facility for the mushrooms to help the town.
Did you notice anything off about her since you guys
I
have
mean,
started testing these mushrooms?
who, Xenia?
Yes. Or really anyone who was helping you test these mushrooms.
No, it was just me and Xenia mostly working with the mushrooms directly, but no, I mean, in her last time I saw her, she seemed so happy.
Hmm.
When was
She
the
was
last time you saw
happy.
her?
It must have been the 14th. Because I remember reporting it to the police on the 14th. Because was it the 14th? No, it was the following day. I immediately knew that she had not come to work that day because I saw her on the 14th and she was here and happy and so excited about the next stages in our testing and whatnot. And we were came in the next day and she wasn't here, and I immediately knew that that wasn't right. And so I went and immediately reported it. I think, did I wait till after work? No, I think I waited only like a few hours, and I was like, maybe she's running late, maybe she slept in, was she not feeling well? And I don't know, something just told me it was off. It wasn't like her. And so I went and reported it.
Hmm.
Did you try to contact her at her house?
No, I did not. I contacted her on her phone, but she never replied. She didn't have a home phone.
So you saw her on the 14th, and
Mm-hmm.
on the 15th, after she didn't show up for work, you just assumed the worst
Yes, it
because you
you d-
couldn't get through to her on her phone.
correct. Yes. Well, I went to her house and she wasn't there either, and that's when I knew. But I knew she wasn't probably going to be home. But I checked anyways, just in case.
I'm gonna
What
go ahead.
made you.
And then
What?
I'm
She's
gonna
telling the
insight check.
truth.
Oh well, if you say so.
I'm sorry.
Were there any issues that came up in your research?
No.
Was there
Alright.
anyone who you could think of
That
that would also be interested in your research? Maybe people, investors, people who are also researching something similar?
No, everyone in the building was very excited about this. This was one of the biggest projects that we've done here at the Greaser Institute of Renewable Bioenergy, or as like we like to call it, GERB. But
Yeah.
uh, um,
What did that stand for again?
Lyra, you notice immediately her no issues in her research. She hesitated. something was off, but you don't know if she's necessarily lying. I'm sorry, Wade, you asked me? Who are you? What are your guys' names?
Yes,
Well, we have to ask the questions. Our boss's orders.
when have we listened to the boss?
With her being like 5 feet away. Sorry,
Look,
that's
I'll
our
lie if
bad.
I have to.
This came on kind of suddenly. I am Lyra. We are with Base 2. We are trying to investigate the situation, figure out why this happened to her, and trying to find any way that we can help give her back her dignity and put her to rest, and who and bring justice to her as well.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Help us help her. Anything you withhold from us will only hurt her in the long run. Hurt her memory, if you will.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Is there anyone who would have wanted to put an end to her or her research? Even if it was a small grudge that maybe they took it way too wrong?
Um, I don't... I mean, at first, the police force was a little hesitant of the idea of the mushrooms because they could cause folks to go just kind of try to forage in the woods and find them themselves, but not understand that, like, we genetically modified these mushrooms and get lost or end up missing. But overall, then realize that everyday folk wouldn't be able to really create energy from them. So they probably wouldn't go wandering in the woods looking for mushrooms or grabbing the wrong ones and all of that.
Hmm.
I'd like to approach Alara and ask her a question about
Since we didn't get to look at Xenia's body, did she have the egg mark on the back of her neck?
She did.
She did? Okay.
say memo.
Do you know
So,
anything about her client, Velna?
what?
Not a client.
Or her relationship with Velna?
Who?
That would be Nessa, not her.
Either way.
Nessa, yeah.
Well, that's that. Do you know... Would she have, by chance... Did you notice whether or not she was, I guess, holding back a little bit? Maybe she was holding back on her excitement with the rest of the field researchers. Did she seem like she was possibly, I guess, more reserved than normal?
No, we were getting ready to actually travel to base 2 to present our findings
Hmm.
and try to get government approval to take the land.
And these mushrooms not grow anywhere else?
We want to grow them in a facility near us, and while they do produce a large amount, we want to make sure the city can run sustainably on them.
And this is the only place you could get the land to grow them?
It's right next to our building. We own part of the property anyways, but there's been great dispute about it. But I mean, as of now, what the current mushrooms are doing are already at 27% more than what anything else is doing currently.
Hmm.
How many other people are on this project with you?
Oh, not many, no. The main one is just me and Xenia. We then have our assistants, of course, but they're really not specifically assigned to our research.
Who are they assigned to then?
They're just around. They just kind of help out when they need to. We have some interns here for a little bit, but then they go on to the next department. And even then, it's one or two at most. It's really just me and Xenia.
Did Xenia get along with all your other coworkers, bosses?
Absolutely, everyone was ecstatic for this.
Do you know if anything about, I
I'm gonna
believe there is
answer
some
that.
sort of lawsuits between you guys and the Bronze Brow, the blacksmithing facility? Was your energy not compatible or something?
Uh, I I don't know specifically, unfortunately. I don't recall any suing. That would be with our legal department. I don't know if we would have any idea about that. Or if there was documentation on it, it would have been with Xenia. I was her main like her assistant lead, but she was truly, it was her project.
So can you tell me about the development process? Were there any times that there are issues with it? Any failures in it or anything like that that had to be overcome?
Um, yes, I guess, but I mean, it's gonna sound crazy, but the Greaser Council was able to overlook it mostly, and um well, it was around when we started after testing them in a environment that was similar to Greasor's with the rain and the weather. And this is what led us to really push for them to be made inside the building only, and they couldn't just naturally grow somewhere because that was our initial intent. But um they they started talking to each other across different test zones. It was like they were thinking together.
I'm not
And
jealous.
Is that out loud talking?
it was just based off of, yeah, there was just, it wasn't fully verbal, but there was just noises that were being made. And it was bizarre. And we immediately then were like, we need to, something's going on. We didn't know what, so we immediately got rid of that colony, but another one escaped from its pods and even almost knocked out a whole section of power. And we were able to get it back under control, but the energy spike was, it was magnificent. The data was insane. While we can get it at a constant 27%, like it went to 87 that day. And we needed to put in very strong barriers after that because they
What
just
day was
started
that?
talking. Oh goodness, this was way early in our research. It wasn't recent at all. But this was probably months ago officially, but the talking happened almost, oh my goodness, like a year.
You said the council approved that. Were there any dissenting voices that might have tried or wanted to initially close the program down?
Uh, besides Nisa, no.
You said a few months ago? Or over a
Yeah.
year ago?
Well, they started talking a year ago,
Oh,
but a few months ago is when they broke
okay.
out. And then we gave our public presentation to the town council and provided all of our data, and they wanted to give us more funding. And we were getting ready to travel to base too.
I believe there was a Serafina Wind Whisper who potentially hunted in these woods. Was that ever an issue for your research?
Uh, I don't know of her.
Insight that just in case, and I'd also like to insight that anyone else who might have tried to close down the program.
Mm-hmm. She's 100% truthful.
Damn it.
At least we get one person who's really truthful.
She already lied. Been
So was
caught
Belna,
lying.
though.
Well, was hesitant about specifically
Yeah, that's
issues
not
that
a
came up during
lie per
research.
se.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, she could have just been not caught, you know.
Not caught. Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Was there anything
She
special that you did to get that spike in communication you were talking about?
I'm sorry.
Was there anything special about those days when you had that spike in communication?
Like when the mushrooms started talking to each other, or
Yeah,
our
yeah.
presentation?
No, the mushrooms.
Oh, no, we had just changed the environment they were in
To what?
to the Greaseor environment. They said that.
So for clarification, that was from when you took it inside to outside?
No, we made it a pod with,
Okay, so you recreated the
yes,
environment almost exactly, and that's what caused it.
yes.
And did Xenia have any like partners or anyone else or anyone that might want to hurt her?
Um,
Past partners, exes, anything like that?
no, the only thing that really did change is she used to stay, like, she was happier in the last few days I saw her, but she used to stayed late all the time. But about, I want to say, a week before her disappearance, she started leaving on time and went home, from what I assumed.
What happened? She get a boyfriend?
Not that she mentioned, but not necessarily a boyfriend, but she,
What?
well, I know she was talking about wanting to start fostering or adopting children once we got the energy source off and running.
What made her suddenly decide that?
Uh, I imagine it's because all of her family died in a house fire when she was young, so she grew up in a foster family herself, and then she was able to go to college. Then she moved to Benedict for that, and then moved back out here to help her hometown. She
Yes, but
always was wanting a better home life and family here, and
right, but that's a
I,
lifelong interest, and
yeah,
now it suddenly become a very recent kind of change?
Well, yes, I think it's because we were getting close to the final step of going to phase 2 and doing our final presentation to get approval to take the land.
I mean, it's understandable. Imagining what would come after all of this is done, might have a lot more free time.
Yeah, I can see where she'd get so excited about the prospect of ruining someone's life.
And just as you almost say that,
Yeah, I
Lyra,
almost said that.
Lyra, immediately you guys just see papers thrown on the desk and Ilara walk up to her and she says, "So you admitted in official documents that you put cameras in those woods that belong to Nisa Scaleheart, right?" And she's like, "No, we did not put them, but we had to write off on it. It was the council. They told us we had to put them up to try to get an additional government assistance. You have to believe me. They tried to forcibly move her from her land. It's true." And she like looks around pleadingly.
Let's do
And
an
almost
insight.
a blink of it, you see a gun to her head as Alara's holding it, and she goes, "The last thing you want to do is lie to me, Marie. I'm not here to waste time. I'm here to solve these murders, and you're looking very guilty at the moment. So tell me what happened now." And she sighs and like is kind of frozen. She goes, "We put them in there. But the government, once they heard we did this, because we were trying to get blackmail on her, they did not tell us to remove them, just told us to turn them off. Admit to the crime we committed, try and get this approved to get the land by Base 2 Council. And once we got the approval, we would lose our licenses to practice and do research, but could at least get Grisor the funding and reliable resource up and running." And Ilara just kind of hands Stakeen cuffs and she goes, "Arrest her, Officer Marcus. We're taking her to the city jail until I can get some officials here to take her to Base 3 to be charged with their crimes."
Don't you think base 3 is a little harsh?
No. It's their job.
All right.
And that is where we're going to end tonight's session. So, I hope
Oh.
everyone had fun tonight.
Wait,
I know I did.
Before we end, I do want to insight on Alara to see if this is a little more aggressive than I would expect from her normally.
Oh, yeah. This is much more aggressive than you would expect from her.
But do I think it's like she's putting on an act, or do I think that this is just not like her at all?
No, you think this is the first time you've seen her actually serious about her job.
Mm-hmm. So it's like her, I just didn't know what she was like.
Yeah.
She a stupid hoe.
Bum, bum. Well, everyone, I hope we all had fun tonight. See you all next time. Toodles!
Have a good night,
Bye.
friends. We'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching our video. Keep updated on all things Plasmacoin by joining our Discord and following us on our social media pages linked in the description below. If you want more Plasmacoin content, subscribe to our Twitch and YouTube channels, and watch another video up in the corner here. Until next time, guys, we'll see you later. Bye!